Alright, so let's start it. Let me have a few settings. Okay, so that's it. That's good. I think most of your people sat in this chair. It's gonna probably what college they went to. It's about their own initiative, their own drive, their own ambitions, their own curiosity. I can say from the era which I grew up, I don't give a rat's ass what you say to me. Okay, you can only be riding if your back is bent. On my tombstone, I want the habitat. Be ashamed to die until you have scored some victory for humanity. Many people look for meaning in life, and so it's going to be on the rock or behind the tree. Unless they make meaning, you have more power than that. You have the power to create meaning in your life rather than passively look for it. Meaning to me is, do I know more about the world today than I did yesterday? That enhanced meaning for me. If you can accumulate and increase daily, in a month you third, you know what you did. Just that day later, so they continue to grow. And frustration of me worsened. Where do we find meaning? It won't have to do great meaning, so that started in the early teens. You cannot lie in the sand between people who can rest, but do not hold the power over you. That's pretty much quote from Martin Luther King. You can only be riding if your back is bent. When I grew up, it was very common to hear the phrase, "Take a stone and break my bone." The words will never hurt me. I haven't heard that phrase in a long time. I don't hear it recited in elementary school, but the thing has happened. Over years is we came to learn and a civilization the words can be hurtful and friends in mental health. What I see if the left side of a coin, however, is people are less able to deal with the very same people who are around today, who were around back then, who are calling your names. We can say for era in which I grew up, I don't give a rat's at what you say to me. Unless you between me and some god, then I will have to navigate that some way. They are racist person, or racist person, or a person with kind of cultural bias. I don't want to know. I want you to say everything you want to say. Then I'll say, okay, that's who you are thinking. So now what I need to do, because you're in my way, and do you go around you, live over you? Do we go this way, and then come out the other side? Just longer is my effort, it's more energy. But some level it's sort of same, just different thing. You can say you're being racist, you're being like that. That's not. You're gonna navigate it. I think high school, that's where we learn about how to deal with difficult people. There are people who are nasty. You have to navigate them. There are people who you cannot interact with for one reason could be next to you in your workplace. So I think under the total social part that people are tossed into the high school experience. They say, oh, I go have learn more about how to deal with all these people. Hey, deal with the all people is not yet profile. Immersion for gaps. They have been this culture. They have some vision statement. They have to give grit. Okay, they are knocked out and stood back up. And just another way, knocked out again. There was a self either measured by wealth, influence, or just joy in their lives, passions. For me, I do for the public. 90 plus percent of it is driven by duty, not by ambition. That's how I feel it. The character ended up hosting Cosmo in 2014 and Dream, when doing a Carl Sagan, who is hugely talented. She approached me and said, you can consider hosting commerce as an don't. There's a dozen people, a dozen people and have a dozen others who jump at this opportunity and need to do this. I really don't. And I thought about it and I said, well, I make graduation when I was 17. I was for and it was Cornell. I've been accepted to Cornell. I didn't know what college I want to go. And the ambitious officer that wasn't totally in moment there and if I forward my calling to him. First reaction, and he sent me a letter. I get this letter and I open it, is I understand what you like, the same stuff I like. And you want to come visit the campus to have you decide if you want to go to Cornell. He met me outside this building on a Saturday. It is something he reached back at a board of sale was when he presented to me. You can tell future optional single card. Later in the day, I go back to New York. It begins to snow, and it does often in December in Talaga. And he says, here's my home number. If the bus can get through for the snow, spend an hour with my family, and go back tomorrow. I'm thinking, who am I? Why? I'm nobody. There was somebody to him. And I said to myself, if I have ever a promoted famous as he is, I will treat students the way he had treated me. If you can form his memory into this next commerce, then we have a way to justify when I am the next hot because the talk passed. I was passed in 2014 or passed in 1975. To your future astronomer, I still have that book. And what is an adult scientist? But a kid when have lost this curiosity. People who have sat in this chair, it's not about what class they want to go. It's their own drive, their own patience, their own curiosity. That is now taught in school. Sadly, school review us is empty vessel that will proof mentioning to take it over here, you get high grade you praised. You might even give a common speech. You become the shakers and moves around the world. I don't think so. When you come downstep on the last day of school, you're not singing the Alice Cooper song, School is Out Forever. You'll be it will be a sad song. You'll be singing, saying, gee, I gotta go 3 4 months without learn anything. You should be sad at school is over, not happy. And so you leave school, you say to yourself, no, I know how to learn and have a curiosity of all things I have been exposed to, and now we become a lifelong learner. I do things that take me to a place that people all think, what's about your dad impacted you so much that you still carry today? For me, at least that was what level of wisdom did he glean in his life, and he selfly communicate to me, either by example or by just this statement. In high school, he he was achievable, ending up in a about to enter the next athletic unit, and it was check and field. And the gym instructor pointed out to my parent on the line and said, "Your Jason never looked at he does not have a body type that would excel in jack." And he says, "What? No one is going to tell me what I can't do in my life." He used that as a reason to start running. Within a few years of that, it was in 1948. The Olympics were not yet ready to come back to us because we're still building rowing from the Second World War. Instead, it was still an Olympics. It was called GI Olympics. It was held in Hitler Stadium. You can meet in Hitler Stadium in the late 1940s. In Russian, I'm saying that is there's a friend named Charlie Johnson. They were competing against New York Athletic Club. The New York Athletic Club at the time expected only the white Protestant. There were another club in the Brainer Club. We told everybody who now was accepted to the New York Athletic Club, who basically blacks and Jews, and his best friend, Johnny Johnson. Okay, we come around the black church stretch may have been required time, final stretch go away. And a runner from the New York Athletic Club was few placed in hand. Johnny Johnson overhears that runner's coach say, catch that nigger, and he overheard it. So he said to himself, he said, this is one nigger, and I'm gonna catch it. Instead, he is late to the finish line, and he tells a story, not with any bit of tongue. It was his orchestra to parlay to game call up migration into a reason to excel even more than you has impacted of your own abilities and talent. Next question. Some people have one have. My impact would be people learn from me in a way that they are empowered with what I talk to them. So if they think they will learn from me, they no longer think of me. They think of their own pace of understanding of how this work works. I become irrelevant because people always said it because Tyson said so, and I failed. It's not how much you teach someone that teaching them authority. I don't know, that's no. I want to teach you to think and think about the word. And you say, I have why didn't you understand the word? Just run off it. You don't even look back. Because the new level of hunger had descended upon you, and method has turned to fear that hunger now accessible to you. So my impact would be that others are impacted and they don't even remember and have something to do with it. Okay, so this his speech is pretty good. Like it is my 13th time when I read doing it, following some people's speech. And I think that his speech showed me like the power his thing like it like shown and that in me like he put his soul into me like it's like get his soul into me in order to instruct me to go to the right way. And through his speech I learned more about um, how to grow up, how to determine my dream, and what and who I want to become, and what should I do right now, and what the person of myself right now, to get the thing that I want in the future. That changed me a lot. And so, okay, his speech, is lower than the previous speech, but the quality is the same. I think so. I believe so. Okay, so then that is the end of my speaking today, and I have to go to take a bath right now.